Hello. Okay. Let's see what the cards have to say for us today. I shuffled them before, by the way. Okay, the Hierophant. This is a card about order and logic. Maybe you've been very diligent lately, committing to your routines, working on projects, getting things done around this time of the year. That makes sense. So let's draw another card to explain that a bit. You've been, analyzing things maybe, getting to the bottom of, some questions that have been on your mind. Okay. Then we have the Emperor. You've been in boss mode. You are accomplishing things. You're starting to figure out who you are, what you want, what you stand for. You're starting to really accomplish things and, make a name for yourself. Okay. Then we have the Queen of Wands, which is an energy of, ruling your passions rather than letting them rule you. Not that that's a bad thing, but, you're really kind of in your element now. You're creating, you're discovering. It's an exciting time. You can see the figure kind of looking up at the moon. Bless me. And then, this is interesting, we have the Devil card. That's not necessarily a sign of, the devil or evil or anything, but maybe it's a slight warning of temptations coming up, or, unhealthy attachments, just something to be wary of. You don't want anything to, get in the way of your healthy mindset and the momentum that you've been generating in that time. Okay. This card came out last time. The Eight of Wands. It's an energy of things moving quickly, You're accelerating your destiny, I guess, or your progress through life if you don't believe in destiny. And then we have the Page of Pentacles. This is a messenger of, earthly things, finances perhaps, stability. You are finally starting to learn how to really build that for yourself. Or it could also mean that someone is, a messenger, if you will, is going to come to you with an opportunity. You have things kind of cooking for you in the background. So you have some things to look forward to. And now we're going to pull from the other two oracle decks. Sometimes these cards are a little stubborn. We have romance, love, attraction. Maybe, you have a little bit of that coming into your life, or it's in your life right now and it's blossoming. And that's a good energy to be in. It kind of distracts you from, the busyness of life. You just let yourself get kind of swept up. And that's, as long as it makes you happy, I think that will attract more good things into your life. But just, again, with the Devil card, don't let it absorb you completely, or don't develop an unhealthy attachment. Okay. Success. Accomplishment of one's goals. You are meeting success right now. And I think that as long as you stay consistent with yourself, as long as you keep believing, you will attract more of it. Finally, Ancient Stones. Pave your own way. Leadership, courage. Forge, don't follow. I think that if you have an idea of how you want to do something, then you should do it your way. People will always have advice. They'll have unsolicited advice, which is criticism in its own way. And, can take it with grace. Maybe it's not entirely bad advice, but you don't have to let it shut you down completely. Just because someone doesn't understand what you're doing doesn't mean that what you're doing is wrong. Not forgotten. Messages from Spirit. Unbroken connection. Right now, you're really connected to your higher self, your inner voice, your intuition, and that is what is guiding you along the right path for you. So, as long as you listen to yourself more than you listen to other people, you will, create the reality that feels right for you. Also, I want to emphasize, you're listening to this happens when you're listening to your higher self, not your lower self or your baser instincts. So, I hope this reading helped. Like, subscribe, comment, and consider, checking out my other content. Thank you.